Hi everyone, I hope you're all doing well. It's Catherine here from Tullamore Retreat Center. I'm going to be teaching you how to tie two different types of bows today. We'll make a few modifications as we go. I know this was supposed to be an in-person thing for our wreath making event, but obviously we have adapted and it's going to be great. All you need in order today to make this craft or these bows are pipe cleaners or chenille stems, which I recently found out they are called, scissors, and your choice of ribbon. If you don't have the chenille stems, I've tried it with string. You can use string, that's fine. You just have to be a bit more fussy or a bit more dexterous when you're holding your ribbon. Not the end of the world. So we're going to begin with this bow here. And I'm just gonna be using some ribbon I got from the dollar store. This one is pretty easy to modify. So all we're gonna begin by doing is we're going to be folding the ribbon around itself. So there's my tail, and I'm gonna start by just wrapping it around, trying to keep my edges as neat as possible. And you can choose how many times you want to fold around here. The ribbon I'm using today has the wire in it, which makes it a lot easier to make a nice bow shape. So that's something to keep in mind. I'm going to use just as much ribbon is available in my dollar store ribbon pack. For this one, you can see I made 5 complete loops. So it's up to you. I think I want this one to have a few more loops in it. So continue doing that. I know if I was YouTube savvy, I would have a sped up version of this for you, but I guess we can do it together at the same speed. We'll be fine. There you go, like that. Okay, and then this ribbon, so when we folded it in originally, that's going to be our tail, and then we can cut it off here so that it'll be similar length, our tails. When you do this, a mistake I made on this one is I cut it too close to this part and actually cut a little bit of a hole in one of my ribbon loops. So just be mindful of that. I know those of you at home are probably a bit more careful than I am with this kind of thing. Then you're gonna fold your ribbon in half. Yeah, trying to get it as even as possible. This ribbon I'm making is gonna be really dense because I made it a little bit shorter than my other one. So basically your ribbon loop is going to be this size. So if you realize you don't like that at this point, you want it to be bigger or smaller, just refold it. One of the ribbons I was doing inside, I refolded multiple times and it didn't seem to make a big deal, or a big difference, sorry, with the wire. And then we're gonna take, so here's our center line. We're gonna cut in a little bit to start. You can always cut in more if you want. So I did about a 1/2 inch on each side, leaving about 1 inch in the center of my ribbon. So the more we cut in, the more we're going to be able to maneuver it, but also the less stability our ribbon is gonna have. So it's a trade-off, so you can decide what you want. Then you're going to take your very fancy chenille stem, placing it in those little cuts you just made. Yeah, and again, this is where you could substitute in string. And then on the back, I'm just going to pinch and twist it. Just like that. And you can decide if you're using chenille stems or string, how much extra you want to leave here, because you could potentially use that to attach it to something if you'd like, so don't be too quick to cut it. And then all we're gonna do is you're gonna start pulling out your loops. So there's my other tail. Yeah, and as you pull them out, so I find with making these ribbons, the thing that makes the biggest difference is sort of how you fuss with them as you go. So you can pull it out, maybe you give it a little bit of a twist, and then puffing it up like so. If you have single-sided ribbon, so ribbon that has a pattern only on one side, like I have, you'll just want to twist it so the pattern's best displayed. And you can continue on like this, twisting your loops as you go, and then puffing them up. Yeah, I'm sure you're doing a fantastic job at home. Just like that. I phoned my grandma yesterday to tell her that pipe cleaners were called chenille stems. Like sort of I told her it like a joke, you know, almost like, oh, like, did you know this, grandma, kind of thing, right? And of course she knew it. It sounds like everyone I've asked if they know what chenille stems are has said yes. This is common knowledge. But this bow you can see is going to be really nice and thick, which I think is really pretty. I think it's nice to have a good puffy bow. Yeah, just taking that time to really work them around, get them puffed up. And then try and make your tails meet at the same place. So our tails here on this ribbon I did are quite small, but we would like them to join, say, at the bottom as we do this. Yeah, adding those twists, taking that time to fluff as you go. Okay, so I might leave this ribbon like this, but if you want to take a bit more time fluffing yours, feel free to do so. And then that's what you end up. So depending if you want, you can pull it all to the top. Can you see it well? Sorry. You can pull it all to the top if you want to have a clear little tails at the bottom. And I probably could have left my tails a little bit longer for this ribbon. And then if you'd like, you can dovetail your tail. So you can see the dovetail on this one. All you do to dovetail, and I'll show you on the next bow we do, but you fold it in half like so, and then you're gonna cut it along there and you get a nice little triangular fold out. If you can, avoid doing it, I hope you haven't done it already, like this and this, because you end up with an uneven dovetail. So if you'd like an even dovetail, make sure you do that folding method. So there is bow option 1. You can see it has more tails than this one, or more loops. Okay, then we have bow number 2. This one is slightly higher skill level, more advanced. I have faith that all of you are bow pros. So you're gonna start just by making a small bow here after a tail. So you can leave about a foot of tail. It's up to you if you want to have any tail, it's not necessary. Then we're gonna do a little fold or loop like that, and we're going to twist it to start. So we get that nice and twisted. Again, I'm using a one-sided pattern ribbon, so I'll just have to be aware of this as I move on. When we do this, for this one, I did different size loops, but if you would like, it also looks really nice with all the same size loop, so feel free to experiment with that. So I made my little loop. The next loop I do, so I'm doing this behind, I'm going to do slightly bigger. So maybe I'll add about an inch, half an inch, whatever you think you would like. So there's that, you can see is my second loop. And then again, because of this single side pattern, I'm going to twist my ribbon so that when I make my next loop, the pattern is facing the way I want it. So it doesn't have to be done any specific way. You're just twisting as you go to keep your ribbon pattern facing the direction you'd like. And then so I made my next loop slightly bigger than my last one. And I'm gonna do the same again. So I'm gonna twist my ribbon, and then I'm gonna make this loop just slightly bigger. This one I made dramatically bigger, you can see. As I went on, this one I'm gonna do a little bit smaller just to experiment with how that looks. So twisting my ribbon as I go, continuing to pinch here. Yeah, we're gonna be ribbon pros by the end of this. Yeah, and it doesn't have to look perfect. So feel free to just have fun with it. I find with most of these crafting things here we do at the retreat center, you know, you're most critical of the things you're doing yourself, and it's also pretty cool how everyone's looks up or ends up looking a little bit different. So I would love to, if you feel so inclined, see a picture of your final ribbon if you want to send it to the Tullamore Retreat Center email. Okay, so this one, I think I have 3 on this side, 4 on this side. I'm gonna leave it with that. Okay, and then you are going to take your very bougie chenille stem. Okay, I'm not gonna cut it yet. If you wanna cut it first, you can. And then, so the first loop we made that we twisted, we are going to feed our chenille stem through that. So feed your chenille stem through, continuing to pinch. Okay. Bring it around behind, like so. And then you're just gonna twist it on the back. Trying to get it nice and tight to hold your ribbon together. Yeah, I could probably do mine a tiny bit tighter. Okay, and then before we cut it, just line up your tail so it's gonna be roughly the same with what you have. There you go. Setting whatever you have left to the side. And then we can cut, if you want to do a dovetail on this. I did a dovetail on this one. I thought it looked really nice. So I'm just going to fold my ribbon. Yeah, and you can always cut it a little bit shorter if you want your tails shorter. And I'm just cutting diagonally across. And then I end up with a really nice dovetail. Doing the same on both sides. Like so. And then I know it doesn't look too fancy yet, just stick with me. Turn your tails so they're facing the same direction in this case. And then it just becomes a matter of puffing your ribbon. I found this one took me a little bit longer to puff it up really nicely so you have your little center part. And then again, you sort of want to pull them and twist them as you go. Is a good way to get them nice and full so you can fiddle with your ribbon here for a little bit, getting it looking how you would like. For the chenille stems, I really looked around to get the red ones that I thought would look best with this, but you really don't end up seeing them. So I don't know if it's worth necessarily spending your time finding the matching string or chenille stem to go in there. Okay, I'll probably fuss slightly around more with this one, but you can see that's what you end up for that. So this one again has a few less ties, or loops, sorry, in it. And so those are 2 ways to make ribbons. I hope you enjoy this video, that you have a chance to add these ribbons to your wreath or your tree or whatever you're decorating. And if you have any questions, if you want, you can leave it in the comments below, or again, email me at the Tullamore Retreat Center email. Bye.